Namaste, angels. This is gonna be my second time trying to do a reading. Well, the first time I did a whole reading, and I usually don't play it at all, but for some reason I was guided to play it only toward the end. And when I played that in part, it sounded like I was underwater. So I rewound it. In the beginning, it sounded fine. I took it back to the end. I played it again because I thought, maybe something was going on the first time. Let me press play again, and sure enough, I sounded like I was underwater. I couldn't even understand what I was saying, so you wouldn't be able to understand what I was saying. So I'm gonna have to do another reading. I guess that one was only meant for a couple of people, but I'll tell you about it now. Maybe it was mine. I mean, I don't know, but I felt like it was the collective reading, and that's what I sat down to do was the collective reading. So I'm not really sure what happened, but I'm gonna do another reading. I am beginning with the Two of Cups at the bottom of the deck here for this tarot deck. Can I show them the Two of Cups, please? Thank you. My guys have been very cooperative lately and dimming the lights, like upon request. Um, yep, there they go. There, the lights are up again. Um, so it's that Two of Cups followed by the Eight of Swords, followed by the Page of Pentacles, followed by the Nine of Wands, followed by Death. And I will try to show those to you. And so far, that's not working. Yes, can I show them the cards? Wonderful. I really appreciate it. And so this is sort of looking like the last reading I did, maybe with some slight nuance. Let me quickly tell you about that one. That one was a story of a King of Pentacles in reverse, not necessarily an Earth sign, but that was certainly a possibility. Um, I'm going to be shuffling these and pulling out the cards for the week, by the way. Because this one out is the High Priestess. The High Priestess. Can I show them the High Priestess? Yes? I don't know. Maybe I spoke too soon. Oh no, there we go. High Priestess. She's the first card out. The card most directly representing us. So it's about this King of Pentacles in reverse. And this was stuff that I had been feeling before I did the cards. I'd already talked about the King of Pentacles and how he might be feeling right now, and then sure enough he fell out in reverse. Also the Queen of Wands in reverse, which I think is the karmic feminine, or or representative of a karmic situation in your life. Surrounding energy is the Page of Cups in reverse. And we had the Six of Swords in reverse come out a couple times. We had the Queen of Cups come out behind the King, and also in reverse, behind the King of Pentacles. And so what I made of the story, or what I had already made of the story before the cards even fell, and I'd already been talking about it, this was one of the characters too. Can I show them this card, please? The Two of Swords. Thank you. Oh, that's a really good. Thank you so much. All right, so you can see there's a new moon in this card, and the woman's arms are crossed over her chest. So I felt like she was trying to withhold emotion, like she's holding her heart back. And the water's kind of still, so it looks like there's not much emotion in the water. If they let me show you the card again, very good. Um, you see the water's kind of still. It's not like rough waves or anything. So I think that she's trying to withhold emotion, but there's a decision that had to be made, and it was whether or not to forgive the King of Pentacles. We just saw the page, yeah, we just saw the Page of Pentacles. It's going to be about apology, a lot of the time, and um, like he had basically betrayed her in some way. Here's the Queen of Cups. She's upright this time now. She's in our position of love and relationship, which is much better than the Ten of Swords we had. We got Justice in reverse for physical health. And the Hangman in reverse for spiritual health. It was really, really a good reading. So I do want to. Oh, we got the Six of Cups at the bottom of the deck as the overall energy. So something having to do with children or our childhood or maybe even a past life. Um, if you see me going like this, it means something has popped up on my screen and I'm just trying to get rid of it. Um, Sometimes it leads to pauses or breaks. I'm not editing anything. It's just the camera turned itself off or something like that happens. Um, what was I going to say? What was I saying? Oh, so the Six of Cups can be about our childhood, a past life. It's also a soulmate card. It can be about children. It can be have something having to do with our siblings. So maybe your family. And this is an overall energy. And this King of Wands is giving me very much father. So maybe this is like your father or a mature man in your life, or masculine energy, or representative of your children's father who, you know, could be involved in a soulmate. The magician, when a reading is about a female, like a woman's particularly a love reading, and the magician shows up, something in traditional tarot, he's said to be a soulmate too. Magician for me also, in terms of timing, is about like right now, like this is a present situation. And behind the magician, we have the tower. So Six of Cups, King of Wands, magician, tower. There could be something having to do with a family home or asset. Sometimes for me, a tower is about a home structure, building. Um, King of Wands again could be the father. This could be an inheritance because in that last week I used several different decks, and it had come up that the feminine, divine feminine in particular, was probably coming into some money, possibly through an inheritance. And possibly connected to a fire sign father, particularly in Aries, or perhaps a Scorpio, because it had like a lot of Mars energy, and we did have death come out too, as well as this other card called Coffin. And so the feminine's coming into money. Masculine, on the other hand, possibly having financial problems. If he's not having financial problems, he may just be able to maintain his lifestyle, but not feel that he would be able to take you on as well as somebody else, for which he's responsible, um, and provide for you. Now you might be saying, I don't need anybody to take me on. I don't need anybody to provide for me. Like I got my own money. I can do it for myself. I'm an independent, blah, blah. I hear you. Because I don't need anybody to take care of me either. But the thing is, this King of Pentacles, he's been showing up for the past several months, and this provider energy, we've seen it for a while now, and he wants to provide. So if he's thinking, I can only afford to keep juggling these plates that I'm juggling, and I can't afford to pick up another plate, that's why he hasn't reached out to you. In some cases, he may be having financial problems. It may be connected to something legal, so maybe family court or divorce court or something like that, or some other dissolution of a partnership, maybe a business partnership that didn't work out. And so he just doesn't. He's gonna come forward because he can't help himself. And you may have been the one to actually leave him because the High Priestess is one of the cards that came out, and I said I feel like High Priestess for me is sometimes about separation, and I feel like you're the one that walked away, you're the one that ended it. You couldn't take it anymore. Like you've been on this like hamster wheel for days, weeks, months, years, whatever it was for you, too long. And we did have the world in reverse, and I said this person, this feminine, just feels like she wants to get off. I want to get off this ride. And so that's why she's trying not to put emotion into the decision because she really wants to think about it seriously. Do I forgive this person and take them back? Will they be different this time? Will things be different this time? Can I, count on him to not be like the Knight of Wands in and out and just run away when things get, scary for him? Because we like the Knight of Wands also. Um, but the thing about this woman with the Two of Swords, if I can show you the card again, I'm really happy about the way that they're allowing me to do this. She's also blindfolded, so she's not really looking at the facts either. She's not using emotion, and she's not using facts, so it's kind of random. Now, then we do have a new moon in this card, and tomorrow we have the new moon in Cancer. There is also supposed to be, I learned from an astrologer, astrology like magazine thing. They had a little video, and I was watching it and it said there was going to be some sort of triangle, like a trine, between all three water signs. Um, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, that they're all going to be within 120 degrees of each other. So that was special. And also tomorrow, something else happens. Oh, the nodes switch. So currently, and that's where the Aries energy was coming into. All right. So currently, the nodes, the north node, the true north node is Taurus, and the south node is Scorpio. But tomorrow, they move, and the south node becomes Libra, and which is why Venus, who is in retrograde in Virgo, I think, yeah, pretty sure, and um, the true north node moves from Taurus into Aries. So we had all that Taurus energy with the King of Pentacles, and the deck I was using at the time had all these bullheads in it. So the Taurian energy was really coming through. The Hierophant showed up, and then we also truly had the um, the South Node energy with Justice, as we just saw Justice again, representing the Venus. And so, anyway, there were a few different ways that this masculine could have either lost his money or reasons why that he'd be concerned about having more money. So you walked away from him, or feminine walked away from him, and he wants to come back, but he's not sure that he can manage, particularly financially, because he wants to be the provider, he wants to be the leader, and um, you may have come into money, you may have inherited something, or just be doing particularly well in your life, and he's not sure he can take care of you as well as you can take care of yourself or better. And again, he wants to take over, he wants to be the provider, and it could be because he is having financial trouble. If so, possibly because he's had to give, he's responsible for a lot of things and or a lot of people, or he's had to give in some sort of like legal battle or something, um, pay out, split property, split stuff, or he is managing his life. He does like have and like finer things in life, but he's put a lot, and he's got a lot. So he's got a car payment, he's got a house payment, whatever. And so with all those things, even though he's able to manage them, he doesn't know if he can take you on in the sense that he'd be able to give you everything he wants to give you also in addition to what it's already doing. But like I said, I saw him coming forward nonetheless with an apology from a page of pentacles, and um, you got to decide, if you are down to receive it or not. Um, Also, in some cases, a karmic female is a lover of his and is pregnant, um, or the wife is pregnant. Well, she could be the karmic female lover of his. Or there, like I said, there's a child or children involved somehow, which may again be the case with the Six of Pentacles. Six of Cups rather. Six of Cups also, although it is a water card, it is very much representative of the energy of Gemini. Gemini rules like siblings and family, and is followed, like I said, about by the Magician, which also represents the sign of Gemini in the tarot, the masters of manifestation. And anything else? Um, I guess not. Sometimes the high priestess can be seen as kind of like a counterpart for the magician. However, the Hierophant is also known as the high priest in the tarot, and so you have the high priest and high priestess. To me, that's a better match. So with this high priestess, she does have the page of cups sitting next to her. The high priestess can sometimes be an older woman that is involved with a younger man or an old person. I mean, to me, the gender doesn't really matter. But of course, the card on the energy presents female, and the page of cups presents male here. So that's the only reason why I'm using that. But however it applies to you, could be archetypes only, like feminine versus masculine, as opposed to gender or sexuality or anything. But anyway, this is an older feminine energy, if not female, and a younger male a lot of the time. And he may have betrayed her in some way. Maybe she didn't come to trust him and to become involved with him in some way, and he did betray her. If this is not a romantic situation or that type of situation, this can be mother and child, and perhaps both water signs. with the High Priestess. She does in the tarot present as a Gemini or a water sign, predominantly Pisces, but then I would say Cancer. And she's very feminine and she is tied to the moon. And again, the new moon does occur tomorrow in Cancer. So the moon will be home in Cancer because the moon is Cancer's ruler. And so that may be why this particular week we are so um, very likely to be receiving signs and synchronicities and intuitive messages to know what we should do. The high priestess often has to do with a decision for me. And when she makes that decision, she takes so much into account. Like the Two of Swords girl that I showed you, said she's not paying attention to the fact she's got her eyes covered. She's not paying attention to her emotions. She's holding them in. The high priestess, on the other hand, will use, the facts, will use her emotions, her common sense, her intelligence, wisdom, street smarts, whatever she has to make her decisions, and then she's probably going to keep them to herself until it's time to release what that message is about. So there could be something going on with a mother and child, in which case the child has become upset in some way, and is upside down. Or there can be something between, like I said, maybe it's a more romantic situation or a friendship situation or even a business partnership where we have to be able to work together in a different dynamic or way. Than parent and child, and in that kind of situation, there could be a case of the high priestess needing to let her hair down a little bit, and sometimes the page of cups in reverse can be about needing to be more free and take more risks, and to get out there and be more social and have a good time, as opposed to like just work 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 all the time, and that kind of mindset, and that is in the surrounding energy. So, High Priest is also a very spiritual card. So it can be about us feeling particularly spiritual and connected, maybe to the moon and to our, thoughts, to our dreams, getting a lot of messages, needing to write stuff down when it comes to us, because that's going to help us to get clarity. Um, I'm seeing these horns at her feet, and I don't, so I'm getting a lot of Taurus energy out of this High Priestess card too. Um, Again, Taurus is particularly important right now because today is the last day that the true north node will be in Taurus. The letters B and or J could be significant to you. Of course, here they represent and signify King Solomon's columns, Boaz and Joachim. One is black, one is white. That could be something. Sometimes the high priestess, if it's about relationships, will be, like I said, older versus younger, black versus white, Jewish versus Christian, you know, um, short versus tall, fat versus skinny. There could be some sort of difference that is like a major difference, or maybe have been seen, viewed, perceived as a major difference at one point by one or both of you. But maybe now what you're thinking about, what you're trying to decide, is to set those differences aside and realize they're not. It's not such a big deal. Like I'll use myself for an example. Um, this is so funny talking about receiving like messages and stuff. So men my age are not attracted to me for whatever reason. If they are, they don't try to talk to me. Okay, younger men try to talk to me. I'm talking about 20 somethings, 30 somethings, really even 40 somethings, honestly. And so that's what I dated most recently. Um, was a He turned 32 while we're dating. He was 31 when we started. Um, and it's not my thing, Like I really would prefer to date somebody my age, maybe a man older than me. And so I ended things with him. But yesterday, and I'm still not considering it, but I just found it funny. Yesterday, there was like three different um like forms of media where I got this message that women my age need to focus on younger men. One was this woman, it was a female on TikTok, I think, that she was like, women in our 40s, 50s, 60s, we've got to date these younger men. And she was saying, not like in terms of, um, she was saying the men our age and older men only want us to like help them to their way to like the convalescent home, like they don't want to do anything fun anymore and you just got to take care of them and stuff. And that's like my biggest fear, honestly. And then younger men, she went into why we should be with them. So she was one of the people. Then there was this guy who was like a therapist, and he seemed, at least he came across to me as like a gay male. Because I remember thinking about like, oh, that's interesting that he's the specialist in women's relationship, women over 50 or 40, whatever, relationships. And he's not a woman and he's not even heterosexual. Like it was like male female relationship. Anyway, it just struck me as interesting. Um, but it doesn't matter. He's a professional. He's a professional. So anyway, he's an expert in this, and he too was saying, like you got to go for these younger men. I just was laughing because I'm like, I can't, like I can't. I'm not attracted to them like that, or I don't know. There's something in me that's blocked. So it was something else too. It was like another video or something on the news or something. But anyway, so maybe it's for you guys. Like there's a lot of this I think coming up. These May December relationships and like nobody's, very soon all these transits that is happening, like nobody's gonna give a fuck. Like, monogamy I think might be dead soon. Um, or maybe not monogamy, but at least like relationships as we know it. Like there's only one way to fit. Like, oh, you can't just be a baby mama. You gotta marry you. Like, does he have to marry me? Like maybe that is fine. Like maybe we can decide what works best for us, and we don't have to go by any kind of rules. I see a lot of that happening with the transits. So for like I said, romantic situations, friendships, even business partnerships, there may be us coming up with some like creative ways to like enter like new and build like new dynamics with other people. So that could definitely be what the High Priestess and Page of Cups are, and possibly also what the Two of Swords in the position of work and finance is about. Like, for example, if it has to do something with business and we felt we couldn't work together before for whatever reason, we have these differences, and, or maybe there was some betrayal, and one has to decide, you know, um, whether or not to move forward with the other, that can be why it's showing up in the placement of work and finance because the Two of Swords upright in this placement says, um, not only might you be needing to make a decision about something, but you probably, if you do have to make a decision, you probably can't do it until somebody else, until like there's some other decision that's made by others. So when they come to you and say, yes, I've decided this, or my answer is yes, or my answer is no, that's going to help you to make your decision. But this is something having to do with your livelihood or your finances or your work or something like that. Also specific to just finances. I talked about this in the other reading too, because the King of Swords landed in this placement of work and finance. And similarly to that card, the Two of Swords in this placement also means like you gotta keep an eye on your money. You gotta know how much your balance is. Like this week, it's important for you to like have all this information. Like hiding from your bills or hiding from your balance isn't gonna change what it is. So you gotta be aware of what it is, what bills you have to pay, how much they cost and like getting on top of those things, even in terms of money that's coming to you, make sure you're on top of that, like your paycheck is correct and it's going to the account, the appropriate account that's open, not the point the account that got closed. And if it's got to pay bills from there, that everything is set up, like every I is dotted and T is crossed. With regard to your finances, with how much you have. If you've got 2 cents, that you have it, where it came from, there's a trail and stuff like that. That's very important. I talk sometimes about like not opening your mail, like as if that means you don't have to pay your bills. We can't use that kind of mindset this week. And that's often what the Two of Swords even means to me. It's like I gotta make a decision. I've already made the decision really, but I don't want to act on it because acting on it makes it real, you know? So if I actually open that credit card envelope or that envelope from my credit card company, then I'm actually in receipt of the bill and know I gotta pay it. But if I just leave it closed, I just say, oh, I got a piece of mail over there from, MasterCard. I'll get to it when I get to it. So this week, I got to get to it. In position, this now gets a little more exciting because in the position of love and romance, we do have the Queen of Cups, and she is upright. And like I said in my other reading, she was in reverse, and I think she was the divine feminine. She was the card immediately behind the King of Pentacles in reverse, and I think that she was in reverse because she had always like doted on him and given him love and shown him love, and welcomed him back whenever he came back, like the Knight of Wands, and it's been really open and really nurturing. And he had just betrayed her like over and over again, or not been, reciprocal or appreciative or something. So she was in reverse. Like the Queen of Wands was also in reverse. That was giving me the karmic female energy. So I think there was like some sort of party of three, and that party, that karmic female, didn't necessarily have to be a girlfriend, wife. She could have been a mother or somebody at work or somebody, but an obstacle nonetheless that had been presented in one's life. So this week was about sort of ridding ourselves of that obstacle or that person. Maybe a breakup has already occurred with them. If not, maybe one is occurring this week. Um, Possibly even an actual divorce gets finalized or initiated or something this week under that Venus energy. And that sort of, if it either allows for a new relationship or interest to start to bud, or it allows to at least think about it. And if one is single because they've already been hurt by this type of situation, you know, like this week they're ready to like get back out there or move beyond the hurt, or maybe even reconcile with the person that caused the hurt, which may be this King of Pentacles, who also showed in the form of, I think that, like I said, the King of Swords upright in the placement of work and finance. Um, Maybe open to, like reconciling with him, or at least talking with him, getting them some things out on the table. The idea of the reading, or what came out in the cards, was like, if there is none of this conversation and, you know like action behind the words and stuff like that, and real attempts to move forward, then like this is the end, basically. If it's like, if you want to move forward, like this is going to be now. And I think we're going to start to see, like I said, a lot of these different changes to dynamics of relationships. So not just breakups, but also new types of relationships being created, and people, entering any kind of love or any kind of relationship that they choose, and not being so worried about what's going on with society. So the Queen, she shows up to tell us to, um, that just how accessible and beautiful and everything love is. The only possible negative to her, um, although she's upright, is that she can get sort of carried away with love because she loves it. And right now, like I said, we're in this place with the moon. Tomorrow, we're having this new moon in Cancer, this very powerful moon. The moon is at home in Cancer. The moon rules Cancer. So this is like love upon love upon love or emotion. So she can get carried away. And if you push somebody too far, or push somebody away, because she's like becomes an OD nurturer. Queens of Swords have that problem too. Um, so we should be air signs and water signs, especially since that's the majority of what's on the table too. And that's all that's on the table. Oh shit! It's the High Priestess, which could be either. Then the Page of Cups, the Two of Swords, the Queen of Cups, Justice, and the Hangman. So that's all air and water. Then we got that overall energy of the Six of Cups, followed by the Magician. So more air and water. Anyway, if we are like single, she's the get out and mingle type. So that's what I was saying. Like maybe you've been hurt or whatever, but now like this is the week where you decide. That could be what the decision is. I'm ready. I'm ready to maybe open up my heart again, and share it with other people. I'm going to be social. That's another possibility. She may be positive. It's a positive omen overall, though, for love and relationship. When she shows up, particularly directly in placement. So this is good. It's the energy of also of Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or someone like into those traits or attributes. It's a very feminine energy. And so this is likely us softening up after, you know, being the High Priestess and being the Queen of Swords, and having like that, I'm done and cut you off, and I'm not, everything is very matter of fact. This is letting in the heart a little bit. But also it's about maintaining balance, and can come to play with this Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups is about, letting your hair down a little bit and having fun. That could be what's needed here. Like, and be getting out, being social, mixing, mingling, and just spreading love and showing love in general, not necessarily like a one-on-one thing. Um, Then we have justice in the position of health, physical health, and it's in reverse. And justice too is another card of balance and of um, reciprocity and equity and equality. And in physical health, um, can really be about moderation, doing things in moderation, not overindulging, which is why I was talking about the King of Pentacles, maybe overindulging and overcompensating and spending too much money and all that kind of stuff, like all these things in context of balance. And um, can also mean that it's time for you to, like, again, maybe loosen up and be more, not be more emotional, but letting love in and out, um, and not just being so matter of fact and about maybe work and serious stuff and things that air signs think about, like all the mental stuff only, some love in. Then we have spiritual, which is the spiritual card. But then again, thinking in the context of the justice, the physical health, that card is about being in the moment. And as I said, also for me, the magician is about the present moment. And Gemini's in particular, which the card represents, very much about being in the moment. Like we don't want anything to take any more time than it needs to. If there's a problem, we like to resolve situations head on immediately. Like a lot of people like to think about stuff and let's plan, let's figure it out. If we see a way to fix something right then and there in the spot, in the moment when it happens, that's what we want to do. So we want to talk about it now. And this is broken. I want to put these two pieces together now. I don't want to call the handyman. I can do it. I know what I'm doing. I can put it back together right now. And that's what the justice is about also. So like being right here, right now, in the present moment, living life. And so when you get into this hangman that's now in reverse, he has had an epiphany. He was hanging upside down so long. And so now his head is all lit up and he's had an epiphany. And he's got an idea of how things want to be or where he wants to go and what he wants to do. And this is a very spiritual card. So in this placement of spirituality, it's particularly so. And what it says is, I want to live in the moment. I want to be in the present. I want to live life how I want to live. And things that were your ideologies, perhaps your entire life, like maybe you were raised, strict about Christian or like I said for Jewish or Muslim or you know um Buddhist, whatever. You were raised by the Amish, it's from Springer. You get to decide what you want to do. Like it's that kind of thing where things that you believed in forever, maybe grew up Republican and now you're thinking you're a Democrat or vice versa. This card in this placement is about you having thought about stuff the way that it exists, maybe the way it's always existed for you, particularly as it relates to your spirituality and your upbringing, and you were deciding, fuck this, like that is stupid. Like my hang up about younger men. Like this is, if that's your hang up, for example, maybe because of the way you were raised this week, you could be saying like, that is so dumb. Like, I have this in the person I'm interested in. Let me go for it. Um, or somebody of a different race. So, like I said, a different height, a different weight, a different religion, whatever. You could be deciding this week that all of that is stupid. Or again, monogamy versus polygamy, and or traditional relationships versus non-traditional relationships, atypical relationships. You decide you want to be a unicorn. You're gonna be completely unique. Your relationship's gonna be like none other. You know, this is the week that it's happening because of this hangman energy. Let's see what else I can get from maybe some different cards. Any additional messages? Let's try these Kipper cards. The clock was just 3333. Like as I picked these up, nothing came up. Okay, so now the flying like this. Bottom of deck we have thoughts, and I think I got 6 cards. So there's a masculine and or male energy in here with this feminine or female energy on his mind. And he looks like he may have even been drawing something, and the initial M may be significant to you. Maybe I also see an O there. Let's see. Let's see what's on the paper again. Is that an O or like a heart he drew? I'm not sure. Okay, well, let's go out. We have name female. For me, is the divine feminine. Can I show them the main female? You know, it would be really cool if we could get to the point. Well, I don't even have to ask. It's just automatically we get to show the cards. Main female, divine feminine. High honor, privileged woman. Gift, pathway, courthouse. Oh, that was the last one. So, somebody could be getting married or proposed to this week, or this could be what the masculine is envisioning. When I said he wanted to be able to provide for you, he wants to be able to elevate you, to treat you like a privileged lady, like you're well taken care of. He's got you in his hands. And maybe in terms of non-traditional relationships, and or atypical ways of doing things. Maybe he does want to get married or come to some sort of agreement or something. But like, let's just go down to the courthouse. Let's not have a big thing where we invite 10,000 people and spend all our money. I'd rather keep my money for us so I can be able to shower you with gifts. Um, it's a nice story because he sees the pathway now that he's on or that they're meant to be on, and so he's putting a lot of thought in it. Right, the next card is journey. He may be traveling to visit her or having her travel to visit him, or of course, this can be metaphoric. See if I see anything else in here with the suitcases or something. So I might. There's another M. There's a letter M on the train. Can y'all see it? Let's see. It's here. So again, the letters B, J, M may all be significant. If it's not actual travel, then again, metaphoric. We have adjudication here is the next card, but it is in reverse. So as opposed to something negative happening in the court, maybe something positive is happening. Like maybe there's somebody getting married perhaps before, like a justice of the peace, or somebody's getting divorced, and that's a good thing too because they don't belong together. They may have realized that maybe they got married for the wrong reasons because it is what society says. It was a how you say arranged marriage, or just what looked good on paper and not really what somebody wanted to do in their heart, or judging by the facts. So again, the arms code, covering the heart and the eyes closed, just going in willy nilly based on something else, maybe based on money, because that Two of Swords card was in placement of work and finance. So maybe entering a relationship based on money, based on what you had or they had or you thought you would have together, and it hasn't been the case, or even if it has been the case, you're realizing now that you have it, okay, I have this stuff, and or money, but I still feel this void in terms of love, and I, am either ready to look for an interest that I feel can fill that void, or I've already got somebody in here, which again maybe a soulmate, the Six of Cups and the Magician. You already got somebody in mind or in heart, um, that you love, that you feel you belong with, that maybe you would like to either initiate something with for the first time, maybe you've been avoiding it, um, all this time because of some sort of social construct, or they're, friends of the family, so it's inappropriate, or we're 10th cousins, so technically we're related, it's inappropriate, whatever. But now again, you're deciding that this week you're getting rid of some of those spiritual beliefs because you realize that you just believe them because you were taught to believe them, not because you genuinely subscribe to whatever the doctrine is. So you're deciding, like, screw it, I'm out of this. I'm just going to um, check another tarot deck for any last messages too before I sign off, and then I'll be back with another reading either tonight or tomorrow for the moon. And the sword's upright. The moon. Ace of swords on the bottom of the deck. Two of Wands, which is a soulmate card, or the twin flame card of the tarot, is a card about faith. So it can be tied to your again, religious beliefs or spiritual beliefs. Mhm. Strength. So we're going to have the strength, the ability, the confidence to move forward on something that maybe we hadn't before. With Major Arcana card, the Chariot, on the bottom of the deck. Somebody may be getting a new car this week too, or traveling, like literally, some sort of movement. Maybe moving into a new home. Maybe the home you inherited from your parents. Maybe um, those papers are becoming final and we're signing off on something. Behind the Chariot, we have the Eight of Pentacles, something you've been working at or working on for a while. Followed by the Queen of Cups, upright, happy. Followed by the Three of Cups, upright, celebration. Followed by the Ten of Cups, to the family again. Followed by the Tower. So again, something happened to cause all of this movement and positive emotion. Under that tower is the Ten of Swords, and then under there's that Page of Pentacles with the apology. So we had on top of Hierophant, which could be a marriage or a commitment that there was betrayal felt or loss. It came to an end, maybe even divorce. We may have split our property, um, but that actually led to joy and happiness and celebration because it allows the people involved to move forward. And I just need one. I like to have six. So one more. Oh, that's another good one. Um, so we got the moon here. Again, this is a week where the moon is very, very relevant. Tomorrow there will be the new moon in Cancer. Can I show the moon, please? Please? I guess the answer is no. I tilt it like this, though. It makes it easier. Okay, so pay very close attention to your intuition. Um, if you're able to, I know I like to sleep on my side, but if you're able to at all, like sit up, sleep on your back, um, tonight, tomorrow, maybe even the next day, I feel like that's going to help messages come up. You saw they have their heads up, the dogs have their heads up at the moment. I feel like our head has to be up. And this is the card that represents the sign of Pisces. It's um, the dream sign. Wow, so I think it's going to be while we're sleeping. If we're sort of sitting up, our heads are up, facing up, more messages are going to come in. Something, some sort of cycle, situation, relationship definitely coming to an end or has already. The Major Arcana card Death represents the sign of Scorpio, and Major Arcana card The World is tied to all four of the fixed signs: Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, and Taurus. But for me, also has always felt like fire. The card feels warm even, and so I tie it to the fire signs, and more so to the planets like Mars, Jupiter, those karmic energies. But some cycle or situation or relationship is coming to a full end. Um, and you're going to be getting signs about your new beginning. So whether it's a new beginning with components or people from that last situation or cycle that ended in a new way, or it's something brand new, it is very, very positive. The Ten of Pentacles was the last card to fall out. This also can be, like I said, tied to some sort of inheritance or money that I feel like, particularly the divine feminine, is coming into. So if you haven't already, there's some unexpected money on its way to you, divine feminine. And if the masculine finds out about it, or if he finds out like you own your own home, and maybe you own your own car with the Chariot, or just he just sees you. Maybe he might be paying attention to you on your social media. I did see the star several times in the last reading. it could come out many times. Like view you as a star, you're going to be in the spotlight somehow. And so to continue your lifestyle, which at least appears to be, like I said, like you're in the spotlight, you have a lot going on, it's very positive, you're very independent. He he needs to feel like he wants to feel like you still, like need or want or depend on him in some way. And a lot of these masculine don't realize or understand that they are worth their measure doesn't come from the stuff that they own, the material things or the money that they have. I mean, the feminine could be like this too, but it's really more so the masculine because it's just then their archetype to be the leader and provider like naturally, whereas ours is more so nurturing and caretaking. Um, and so they want to be this, but their view of you is that like there's nothing they can do for you. Either they can't afford it or you don't need any help because you got it. But if there's faith, so this is where it's going to come into the manifestation. Both of your parts, faith, and belief that it can happen, and in the path you're on, and perhaps that this is a soulmate or whatever kind of relationship you feel it is, and that you can live your life and and love how you want and love who you want, because love wins and all that kind of stuff. Then he can still give you the world, even if you have the more money or whatever it is, more resources. Um, and that's what some of these masculine are going to have to come to understand, or that they may have already come to understand when in reverse as the hangman. That may be what the epiphany is. Oh, she likes me for me. Um, or I provide this. Money can't buy that. Whatever it is. That may be the revelation that he has. So now he's figured out perhaps how to come and talk to you and to get those things like any secrets and stuff on the table. The moon can be about secrets too, laying stuff out on the table, having the real conversation, the full conversation. There's always kind of butterflies in this picture behind the king, so that also represents the transition, transformation, the death to some of the different aspects, maybe of himself previously, but it's like the old me is dead and gone. Maybe he was a liar or a half truth teller or an avoidant or something. But this guy is bringing clarity. All right. Is very opinionated. In some cases can be stubborn, but also, diplomatic too, especially when he wants to be, and right now he wants to be. And so, um, I think in terms of general life, overall life, we just saw from several different decks, what we can expect. And then in terms of the week, breaking it down into our placements, we know that this week, we're seeing a lot of signs, we're seeing a lot of synchronicities, we're doing things different, we're making a decision as the high priestess. In our surrounding energy, we did have that Page of Cups, but maybe a call for us to lighten up and relax a little bit and or to connect with someone in our surrounding energy that needs to do that, or both. In the position of working finance, you know how much money you have, you know where it's going, all that kind of stuff. Make sure the right amount is coming into you. That position of love and relationship, Queen of Cups, let love in, let love out, and love wins. Physical health, we had that justice in reverse. And so it's very important for you to live in the moment, not far in the future, not way in the past, but right now. This is about life being short and moderation and the time that we have that we don't have, even though time is like a construct. Um, and last but not least, the hangman reverse in the position of spiritual health and coming to an epiphany, realizing what it is we want in life or relationships or all of the above, and how we want to go about doing it, whether that's the textbook, playbook way, or it's something brand new we just created that only is going to work for us. It's all good. That's what this week is about. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment. I do appreciate it. Namaste.